Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Okay, there we go. I had forgotten to turn my microphone on. Thank you. I got it fixed now, I believe. Let me know. Oops. Got it fixed. All right, so for those, the 2 minutes before what had happened, because I know you aren't lip readers, what happened is my setup that I had for my camera, it gave out right before I went live. It messed everything up. Knocked a bunch of stuff down, fell right into the area, so I had to kind of get it figured out real quick, but that's okay. I got it solved. Moving on. Sorry about that. So here we have the Epoch Times SpyGate, right? How the Obama administration conspired against Donald Trump's presidential campaign. SpyGate will likely be remembered as the biggest political scandal in modern history. Obama administration officials actively colluded with the campaign of Hillary Clinton and foreign governments to affect the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. Oh, wrong one. There we go. That way you guys can see. All right. Unofficial intelligence, spy traps, and a politically funded dossier were used to launch a counterintelligence investigation and surveil the campaign of candidate Donald Trump. Efforts intensified following the election through the use of coordinated leaks and the ongoing creation of false narratives in the media. In this infographic, we explore the connections of SpyGate. Now, you see up here at the top right, we have John Brennan, right? CIA director. Brennan was at the center of the creation of the Russia collusion narrative. Brennan used unofficial foreign intelligence, including from the UK and Australia, to establish a multi-agency task force. He met personally with GCHQ head Robert Hannigan during the summer of 2016, and would later use the foreign intelligence to push the FBI to open the Trump-Russia counterintelligence investigation. Director James Clapper later helped to create the intelligence community assessment that was used to push the Trump-Russia narrative. So that's the big center top of the poster, which I'll show you the whole thing here real quick. Here is the whole thing. I have taken better quality pictures of various parts of it, and you can see, moving on. We're going to start at the top left. We did this a little bit in yesterday's video. We started. I took some better pictures because I didn't think they were that great. Yeah, even that one. Oh, come on with this. All right, we might have to get creative today, guys. My camera just fell again. I'm really trying to do the best I can here. Give me just a second. I'm going to try to fix this. We might relaunch this here in a few minutes. Okay. All right. Camera's back. Okay, so yeah, Nancy Dallas has the opinion that there are liars, by the way. Trump sucks some, I don't know, worst president ever. Okay, that is certainly your opinion. There are liars, absolutely, and most of them work for the major cable news programs and CNN. So yes, you are correct. There are liars, absolutely. So moving on. Let's see here. It's still not quite as good of a picture as I would have liked for this. However, that's only part of it here. Okay, so I think we actually might be better off using. All right. So look, here's the DNC, right? We've got the Hillary Clinton campaign. We've got John Podesta, who was the chairman of the Clinton campaign. Podesta and his brother Tony founded the now defunct Podesta Group. He helped promote the Russia collusion narrative. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave the camera because you guys can see this. So we've got Robbie Mook, campaign manager for the Clinton campaign. Mook was one of the first to promote the theory that Russia was helping Trump. Jake Sullivan, senior policy advisor to the Clinton campaign, along with Jennifer Palmieri, Sullivan took the lead in briefing the press on the Trump-Russia collusion story. Donna Brazile, we already know about Brazile, right? Received a letter of inquiry from Senator Chuck Grassley. She helped to promote the Russia collusion narrative. We've got Debbie Wasserman Schultz. No, that's the DOJ. I think we're going to use, here it is. After the strike was hired to investigate the alleged Russian hack of the DNC servers, Wasserman Schultz refused to provide the FBI access to the servers. Jennifer Palmieri was the communications director for the Clinton campaign. Along with Jake Sullivan, Palmieri took the lead in briefing the press on the Trump-Russia collusion story. What's the Ukraine connection? That is Alexandra Chalupa. Yes, like the taco. Ukrainian-American operative and consultant for the DNC, Chalupa met with top officials in the Ukrainian embassy in Washington in an effort to expose alleged ties between Trump, Manafort, and Russia. The DNC actually paid her $412,000 from 2004 to mid-2016, according to Federal Election Commission records. So, moving on, if we look here, I'll show you, bring this back up, if I can get it to work. So, Perkins Coal, right? That's tied to DNC. I've got a better picture of that here. No, that's not it. Let me find it. Sorry, again, I had this ready to go and then everything fell dead. There it is. It's actually COIE, C-O-I-E. I call it COIE. Is a law firm that represented the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. Mark Elias, he's a partner at Perkins Coie. Elias was the general counsel for Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign and John Kerry's 2004 campaign. Elias retained Fusion GPS and paid for the Steele dossier on behalf of the DNC and the Clinton campaign. Elias serves on the board of Democrat Super PAC Priorities USA Action. Bob Bauer, he's a partner at Perkins Coie, however you say it, former White House counsel to President Barack Obama, and be co-chair of the Presidential Commission on Election Administration. Bauer was a partner at Perkins Coie for 35 years until his retirement in May 2018. Bauer was general counsel to Obama's campaign organization, Obama for America, in 2008 and 2012, and served as general counsel to the Democratic National Committee. Michael Sussman, also another partner at Perkins Coie. Sussman passed on information to FBI General Counsel James Baker, alleging that Russia's Alfa Bank was communicating with Trump Tower, a claim that was later proven false. He also passed the same information to the New York Times and possibly other media. Sussman and Baker knew each other from their work at the DOJ. Sussman was responsible for retaining CrowdStrike to examine the Democratic National Committee servers after the alleged hacking incident. Now, the interesting thing about CrowdStrike, right? CrowdStrike was hired by Perkins Coie lawyer Michael Sussman to investigate the alleged hacking of the Democratic National Committee servers. The FBI was refused access to independently examine the DNC servers. Now, that's important because that's the only thing tying this. That's the only CrowdStrike is the only alleged evidence that actually exists, and FBI did not independently examine the servers. This server that was the DNC servers that were allegedly hacked by, according to them, right, Russian hackers. And the FBI, now remember, later we actually found out that the servers were actually so-called hacked by someone who had direct access. They were able to download it onto a flash drive. Bandwidth-wise, that was the only way that it could have worked, because you couldn't get that kind of speed otherwise. So we've got Perkins Coie there, right? Moving down from that, let me take a look here and see what the next one is, because I had them in order and then I messed them up. Fusion GPS, right. I've got a better picture of that here. No, that's not working. Hold on. We got another one. This is not quite going as well as I'd hoped, but bear with me for just a moment. I have it. There it is. Okay. Fusion GPS is an opposition research firm that was hired by the Clinton campaign and the DNC. Glenn Simpson, he was the co-founder of Fusion GPS, was hired, of course, by the Clinton campaign and DNC through the law firm Perkins Coie to produce the dossier on Trump. Fusion employed Christopher Steele. We've heard that number, right? That name, right? The Steele dossier, who wrote the dossier that then was used by the FBI to obtain a FISA warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Page. Fusion GPS also was hired by Russian lawyer, I'm going to butcher this, so be ready, Natalia, I got that, Veselnitskaya. What do you think? Veselnitskaya, on the Prevezon case during the same period when Fusion GPS commissioned the Steele dossier. Co-founder Glenn Simpson has known Bruce and Nellie Orr, we've heard that name too, right? Both of those. Has known them since at least 2010. Simpson has known Christopher Steele since at least 2009. Simpson met with Orr twice in 2016, including once before the election. He also gave Orr a USB stick, which Orr believed contained dossier. Now, I have some interesting information on the Orrs. We'll finish this little clip and then I'll show it to you, or this little section. Mary, she is the wife of Glenn Simpson, right? This guy right here to the left. Jacoby visited the White House the day after National Security Agency Director Mike Rogers shut down FBI DOJ contractor access to the FISA search system. Now, why would she do that? Well, I think it's pretty obvious, right? Thomas Catan, partner at Fusion GPS. Catan worked at the Wall Street Journal at the same time as Glenn Simpson. These people are all connected to Fusion GPS. Peter Fritsch, co-founder of Fusion GPS. Fritsch worked for 13 years at the Wall Street Journal, including as the Washington Bureau's National Security and Foreign Affairs editor. Neil King works for Fusion GPS. He's married to Shelley Murray, former assistant to Obama and senior advisor for strategic communications. Nellie Orr, the wife of Associate Deputy Director General Bruce Orr. Now, this is really important because all this stuff ties together here. Orr was hired by Fusion GPS and investigated different Russian figures as well as members of the Trump campaign. After she left Fusion, she provided her husband, DOJ official Bruce Orr, with a USB drive containing all her research. Bruce then passed it on to the FBI. Orr and her husband have known Glenn Simpson since at least 2010. She was an professor of Russian history at Vassar College during the 1990s. Edward Baumgartner, who was hired by Fusion GPS to work with Christopher Steele, and Russian lawyer, here we go again, Natalia Veselnitskaya, studied Russian studies at Vassar at this time. Now, I'm going to show you something interesting, right? This is, would you go away with the ads? So, this is an article from The Hill, okay? It talks about Nellie Orr's high honey emails to DOJ about Russia collusion, right? And I think they should alarm us all. A quick summary just says that they know, right, because they got the emails, that this person sent emails to her husband, even though she refused to provide information for that. I'm going to post the link to this article here. I highly recommend you read it. It's a good article. It goes into detail about the issues here. Here's just a quick excerpt. 339 pages of emails from her private account to Department of Justice email accounts have been released under a Freedom of Information Act request by the conservative legal group Judicial Watch. And they are raising concerns among Republicans in Congress who filed a criminal referral with the Justice Department on Wednesday night. They clearly show that Orr sent reams of open source intelligence to her husband, Associate Deputy General Bruce Orr, and on some occasions to at least 3 DOJ prosecutors, Lisa Holteen, Ivana Nizich, and Joseph Wheatley. It's on and on and on, but you can see that Nellie Orr fed information to Bruce Orr. Bruce Orr fed information to her. And it goes back to yesterday's graphic and information, right, about all of the different stuff, all of the different connections between the DNC or left-leaning people, right, and various news organizations, right? Okay, so down below that, let's take a look here. Right, Orbis. Okay. It's hard for me to see over there in the corner. This will kind of speed up a little bit as I get more stuff. Okay, so Orbis Business Intelligence is a private intelligence company, and it was founded by former British intelligence agents Christopher Steele and Chris Burrows. Now, Chris Burrows, he's the co-founder of Orbis, former MI6 colleague of Christopher Steele. Burrows and Steele became friends while both worked at MI6. In 2009, both left MI6, and they started a private intelligence firm, Orbis. Christopher Steele, I'm going to skip over here to the right because we've heard this name so many times, Steele Dossier. He is a former MI6 officer and co-founder of Orbis Business Intelligence with his buddy, Chris Burrows. Steele was employed by Fusion GPS to produce the dossier FBI used to obtain a FISA warrant on Carter Page. During a July 2016 meeting in London, Steele gave his main FBI contact, Michael Gaeta, his first memos. Steele subsequently used meetings with DOJ official Bruce Orr, that name again, to pass on information to the FBI. These meetings took place both before and after he was fired by the FBI. Starting in 2014, he had provided the State Department with analysis on Ukraine and Russia. After leaving MI6 in 2009, Steele maintained contact with British intelligence Sir Richard Dearlove, Sir Andrew Wood, and intelligence firm Hackloit, I don't know how you say that, H-A-K-L-U-I-T. Those will become important in just a moment. Back over here to the left, Pablo Miller, 6 agent. Miller has reportedly been a contractor for Orbis since 2009. He has known Christopher Steele since 1994. Edward Baumgartner. He is the co-founder of Edward Austin. Baumgartner contracted for Orbis and Hackloit. I still don't know how you say it. Hackloit. I might have to look that up. We'll say Hackloit. He is fluent in Russian and was hired by Fusion GPS to work on the Provision case, as well as the Steele dossier. He attended Vassar College, majoring in Russian studies during the same period when Nellie Orr was an assistant professor of Russian history at Now, we showed a little bit yesterday about the media, right? And the connections that they have. Media outlets were instrumental in creating the Russia collusion narrative through their reporting, and in some cases through the selective leaks that they received. CNN, New Yorker, New York Times, Washington Post, ABC News, BBC, BuzzFeed, Guardian, ABC News, Newsweek, MSNBC, Vanity Fair, McClatchy, Slate, Politico, and HuffPost. Here is Michael Isikoff. He is a reporter with Yahoo News. Isikoff met with Christopher Steele in September 2016. He subsequently wrote an article that would be used in the application for the FISA warrant to spy on Carter Page. Isikoff also worked with DNC operative Alexandra Chalupa in 2016, leading him to write an article detailing Paul Manafort's business dealings with Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska. David Korn, who is a reporter with Mother Jones, Korn met with Christopher Steele in October 2016 via Skype. He subsequently wrote an article which referenced Alpha Bank, disclosing the existence of the dossier, along with Steele's relationship with the FBI. Korn communicated with top FBI lawyer James Baker prior to the election and provided him with additional parts of the dossier just before or after the election. And there are many, many, many lines connecting these people. I can show you. It's actually pretty interesting. I'll show you. If you go down bottom left, we've got, well, for some reason it doesn't want to let me take it down there, but you can see on this part that all these lines show the various connections between each party, right? It all leads back and forth. Next part we're going to talk about is the FBI. And we have James Comey. We've heard that name so many times, right? At the top, at the urging of John Brennan, the FBI opened a counterintelligence investigation on Trump and conducted surveillance. On October 21st, 2016, the FBI obtained a FISA warrant to spy on Carter Page. It's kind of washed out from the reflection. The FBI to obtain earlier FISA warrants in June, July 2016. These were reportedly denied. Oh, yeah, they tried to get earlier warrants, but it was denied. I think I have a better one without that on there, but we'll just run with this. Comey, James Comey, good old James Comey. He oversaw all FBI operations, including the exoneration of Hillary Clinton and the Trump-Russia investigation. He reported to Attorney General Loretta Lynch. You know, the tarmac meeting Lynch, yes. Comey briefed President-elect Donald Trump on the dossier on January 6, 2017, of James Clapper. Comey later leaked copies of his memos, two of which were classified, to Daniel Rickman. It is likely that a special counsel would not have been appointed without Comey leaking these memos. Andrew McCabe, FBI Deputy Director. McCabe was involved in all aspects of the FBI's counterintelligence investigation into Trump. A text sent by FBI agent Peter Strzok describes a meeting in McCabe's office and makes reference to a so-called insurance policy against Trump. McCabe was fired by Attorney General Jeff Sessions on March 16, 2018. McCabe was referred by the DOJ Inspector General to federal prosecutors for lying under oath about having authorized selective leaks to media. Summary: this guy leaked a bunch of stuff and lied about it, so he was fired. James Baker, FBI General Counsel. Baker was the most senior legal counsel at the FBI. He worked closely with Andrew McCabe and Tricia Anderson. Baker received documentation from Perkins Coie lawyers alleging Russia's Alpha Bank was communicating with Trump Tower. Baker received additional parts of the Steele dossier from Mother Jones reporter David Korn. Baker is the subject of a criminal leak investigation. Now we got the two star-crossed lovers, right? Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Peter Strzok, FBI Deputy Assistant Director, of Counterintelligence. Strzok was the lead agent on both the FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton, which resulted in an exoneration of Clinton by James Comey. And look, we all know she destroyed the servers. We all know what she did. We all know she's guilty. How the FBI claimed that this was not worthy of a criminal investigation of a prosecution is insane. But he was also responsible for the Trump-Russia investigation. Strzok was a member of the, quote, insurance policy group that worked closely with Andrew McCabe. Thousands of text messages sent between Strzok and FBI lawyer Lisa Page reveal a strong bias in favor of Clinton and against Trump. Lisa Page. Page was a primary conduit for McCabe in the FBI's investigation of the Trump campaign. She was a member of the insurance policy group that worked closely with Andrew McCabe. The DOJ Inspector General uncovered thousands of text messages sent that reveal a strong bias against Trump and in favor of Clinton. Page was part of the team of special counsel Robert Mueller before being demoted on August 16, 2017. Page resigned on May 4th, 2018. Now we have Michael Geta. Well, I don't know why it's so hard for me to zoom in enough to read it, but it is, so let me see. I'm going to see if I have another image of that lower line. Michael Geta. Wait just a moment here. This might be it. Oh, no. Okay, here it is. Yeah. Okay, Michael Geta, FBI agent and assistant legal attaché at the U.S. Embassy in Rome. Geta ran the FBI's Eurasian Organized Crime Unit in New York. He has known Christopher Steele since at least 2010 and at some point served as Steele's FBI handler. Geta was sent to London to meet with Steele and obtain the first parts of the dossier. His trip was approved by Victoria Nuland at the State Department. Geta may have given a copy of the dossier to Nuland before anyone else. He met with Steele several times, including once in September 2016. Tricia Anderson is the Principal Deputy General Counsel, head of the National Security and Cyber Law Branch. Anderson was responsible for the legal oversight in both the counterintelligence investigation of the Trump campaign, as well as the mid-year exam investigation of Hillary Clinton. Anderson testified before a House committee that she signed off on the Carter Page FISA warrant application without having read it. She appears to have been involved in every aspect of both investigations. She didn't even bother to read it. She just signed it. Just sign it. It's okay. No worries. It's all good, right? Jonathan Moffa, FBI analyst. Moffa, along with Peter Strzok, was a leader at the FBI's investigative team in both the counterintelligence investigation of the Trump campaign as well as the mid-year exam investigation of Hillary Clinton, which that name is just so stupid. Crossfire Hurricane for Trump, but mid-year investigation for Hillary Clinton. Give me a break. Moffa and Strzok oversaw the core investigative team run by Rick Maines. Assisting Moffa and Strzok was Sally Moyer, a counterintelligence lawyer. Moffa, who was a career intelligence analyst and not an FBI agent, reported to Bill Priestap, the FBI's head of counterintelligence. Now, that's the very next guy. Look at that. Bill Priestap, assistant director and head of counterintelligence of the FBI. Priestap was responsible for both the counterintelligence investigation of the Trump campaign as well as the mid-year exam investigation of Hillary Clinton, which he inherited, when he became head of the FBI's counterintelligence division in January 2016. Both Peter Strzok and Jonathan Moffa reported directly to Priestap, although Strzok would often circumvent Priestap and meet directly with McCabe. Priestap has acknowledged it was mostly Strzok and Moffa who were, quote, driving the train. Then we have Joseph Pientka. Pientka was introduced to Bruce Orr at a November 21st, 2016 meeting that included Peter Strzok and Lisa Page when he was assigned as Orr's FBI handler. PNCA recorded information or provided from Christopher Steele in F-302 forms. PNCA then passed the information to Strzok. PNCA was also present with Strzok during the January 24th, 2017 interview of then National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Now, if you have seen this, been paying attention to the news lately at all, you know that General Flynn is exonerated, right? Might as well be. People know that they lied about it, right? They tried to trick him. He did not lie to the FBI. Actually, evidence was withheld from, here it is. I'm going to show you guys this. Look at this. This is amazing. This was actually from 2 days ago from the Daily Caller. Okay. Source says FBI Director Christopher Wray pushed to withhold exculpatory evidence in Mike Flynn case. Federal Bureau of Investigations Director Christopher Wray fought to prevent exculpatory evidence from surfacing in the case of President Donald Trump's former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. A source with direct knowledge of the situation tells Daily Caller. New court documents were filed in Flynn's case Friday containing the aforementioned exculpatory evidence, commonly referred to as Brady material. Flynn's attorney, Sidney Powell, announced the new filing on Twitter. She has repeatedly accused the FBI and Justice Department of hiding evidence in the case. This is her tweet. Breaking, the government just provided the Flynn defense with remarkable new and long withheld Brady evidence. Letter below just filed. Stay tuned. And here's the letter that she sent and filed. Quote, this afternoon, right? The government produced to Mr. Flynn stunning Brady evidence that proves Mr. Flynn's allegations having been deliberately set up and framed by corrupt agents at the top of the FBI, Powell wrote in an additional filing. The government has deliberately suppressed this evidence from the inception of this prosecution, knowing there was no crime by Mr. Flynn. Since August 2016 at the latest, partisan FBI and DOJ leaders conspired to destroy Mr. Flynn, she continued. These documents show in their own handwriting and emails that they intended either to create an offense they could prosecute or at least get him fired. Powell claimed that more exculpatory evidence in the case will surface in the future. I think we can all agree by the actions of multiple places, multiple outlets, that I could easily agree that there is something fishy going on here. I highly recommend that you take a moment, read that article after the show, and learn more. I don't know, my Discord brings up some weird thing. Okay, so that was, let's see here. Then we have the White House, right? Well, first, since we're on this, Obama administration officials were actively engaged in unmasking and intelligence gathering and dissemination. Susan Rice, National Security Advisor to President Barack Obama, using the practice of Rice requested the identities of members of the Trump campaign collected in raw intelligence reports on dozens of occasions. Rice was also present at a secret January 5th, 2017 meeting at the Oval Office with Obama, James Comey, and Sally Yates to discuss the dossier and efforts to prevent the incoming Trump administration from having access to certain Russia-related intelligence. Samantha Power, U.S. Ambassador to the UN. Power has been named as a person who made unmasking requests for hundreds of identities. She testified later that others used her name to make such requests. Really? Dennis McDonough, White House Chief of Staff. McDonough was the White House Chief of Staff for Barack Obama's second term. He met with the FBI agent Jonathan Moffa on August 10, 2016. McDonough has also been referenced in texts sent by Peter Strzok. Ben Rhodes, Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategic Communications. Rhodes has been questioned by the House Intelligence Committee on his role as members of the Trump campaign during the 2016 election. Shayla Murray, Senior Advisor to President Barack Obama. Murray was referred by Representative Devin Nunes to the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees for questioning in an open setting. She is married to Neil King, who works at Fusion GPS. Yes, that company. Members of the Trump campaign were targeted by the FBI, UK intelligence, and possibly the CIA for the purposes of establishing a pattern of communication and/or ties with Russia. The construction of the Russia collusion narrative was intended to prevent Donald Trump from becoming president and, after he became president, to hinder his administration's effectiveness and possibly remove him from office. The FBI obtained a FISA warrant to spy on Carter Page and kept it active for a full year. Carter Page, down here, Trump campaign foreign policy advisor. The FBI used Page to obtain a FISA spy warrant that was renewed 3 times and lasted until October 2017. By the way, Page was never charged by the FBI. Page was approached by the FBI informant Stephen Halper on July 11, 2016, at a Cambridge symposium. Halper would stay in contact with Page for 14 months, stopping contact exactly as the final FISA warrant on Page expired. Now, have you heard? I'm sure you've heard the name George Papadopoulos, right? He's a Trump campaign foreign policy advisor. FBI used a meeting between Papadopoulos and Alexander Downer as the pretext for opening the FBI's July 31st, 2016 counterintelligence investigation. Into alleged Trump-Russia collusion. This was the whole thing, right? This meeting between Alexander Downer and Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos, a volunteer foreign policy advisor to the Trump campaign, appears to have been targeted through a series of highly coincidental meetings. Downer, Joseph Mifsud, Stefan Halper, Charles Tauliel, and officials from the UK's Foreign and Commonwealth Office all crossed paths with Papadopoulos, this low-level guy, right? In his words, mostly what he did was get coffee. Then we have Paul Manafort, Trump campaign chairman from May to August 2016. Manafort, who has long-standing ties to Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska, communicated during his time at the Trump campaign with Konstantin Kilimnik, his longtime employee in Kiev. In 2018, Manafort was convicted of a number of financial crimes. According to a federal judge, Manafort broke the terms of his plea deal with the special counsel, in part by lying about his interactions with Kilimnik. It appears that Kilimnik facilitated communications between Manafort and Deripaska. Manafort had been under a Title I FISA warrant prior to joining the Trump campaign. Media reports suggest the FBI obtained a new FISA warrant on Manafort after he left the campaign. I'm going to show you this. So he's behind me now, right? We used him. This is my Trump thing. You can't really see him right now because of the way the camera's being, but I want to let you guys know. Here, I'll show you again so you can see it. We actually used that when we first moved in here. We put some garland around them and put some lights around them, and that was our true thing. I'm thinking about how to utilize my Trump. I'm gonna put, like, instead of this big board here, maybe have Trump hold up what's going on in the meeting or whatever, the show for the day. So there's still a lot more to go. I don't know if I should finish up this one today or continue it another time. I think we're over halfway done. I'm just taking a quick gander. All we got is so okay. Yeah, we can finish up. Let me get the next thing up here. Where is Okay, all right, I see what I'm looking for. UK Intel is part of it, and here it is. Robert Hannigan, he was the head of Government Communications Headquarters, GCHQ. Hannigan personally flew to Washington to meet with John Brennan. He abruptly retired days after President Donald Trump's inauguration. Just out of nowhere, retired. Nigel Inkster, former director of operations and intelligence for MI6. Inkster has known Steele and Chris Burrows for at least 20 years. He was Sir Richard Dearlove's deputy at MI6. Nicholas Fishwick, I love that name, Fishwick, former director of private intelligence firm PGI, former MI6 officer. Fishwick exchanged emails related to the Steele dossier with Chris Burrows during the election. Sir Andrew Wood is the former British ambassador to Russia, contractor for Orbis. Remember that name, Orbis? Wood briefed Senator John McCain on the Steele dossier. He advised Steele, whom he knew from the UK diplomatic service, both before and after the 2016 election. In 2013, Wood was listed in court documents as a paid consultant for Steele's company, Orbis. Wood knows Sir Richard Dearlove. Now, the reason that is important is because Sir Richard Dearlove is the former head of MI6. Dearlove advised Christopher Steele and his partner, Chris Burrows, to work with a top British government official in order to pass along information to the FBI. Dearlove described Steele as the go-to person on Russia. Steele worked as an MI6 agent during Dearlove's tenure as MI6 head. Dearlove knows Stefan Halper, I keep wanting to say Harper, Halper through their mutual association with the Cambridge Intelligence Seminar. He also knows Sir Ian Lobban, and maintains ties to UK intel firm Hackloit, which is right here. Hackloit is a private strategic intelligence and advisory firm consisting mainly of former British intelligence officers. Alexander Downer, Australia's High Commissioner to the UK, former Australian Minister for Foreign Affairs, former advisory board member of Hackloit. Downer met with George Papadopoulos in London in May 2016. Papadopoulos allegedly told Downer that Russia had dirt on Hillary Clinton. Months later, Australia informed the United States. This would be used as an excuse for the start of the FBI's July 2016 counterintelligence investigation. Downer previously arranged one of the largest foreign donations to the Clinton Foundation, $25 million from the Australian government. Downer was on the advisory board of Hackloit from 2008 to 2014. He also sat on the board of Chinese telecommunications company Huawei, which has close ties to China's ruling Communist Party. Louis Sussman, advisory board member of Hackloit, former U.S. ambassador to the UK. Media reports have suggested Sussman was made the U.S. ambassador to the UK as a, quote, prize for his ferocious fundraising on behalf of the Obama campaign. Leaked diplomatic cables published by WikiLeaks show Sussman is also connected to Hillary Clinton. Jonathan Clark, former director of U.S. operations at Hackloit, Clark co-authored several books with Stefan Halper. Clark knew Nellie Orr and Peter Fritsch from the Wilson Center. Sir Ian Lobban, advisory board member of Hackloit, former director of government communications headquarters, Loban and Sir Richard Dearlove have known each other for years and have been affiliated in the private sector post-retirement. Now, as you can see at bottom right, members of the Trump campaign were approached by individuals with close ties to U.S. and U.K. intelligence organizations. I just have to find it here. Sorry about that. There it is, I think. So, the Trump Tower meeting, right? The Trump Tower meeting. On June 9th, 2016, members of the Trump campaign met with Russian lawyer, here's his name again, Natalya, and others at Trump Tower. The meeting was accepted after publicist Rob Goldstone said his contacts could, quote, provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary Clinton, of course, and her dealings with Russia. Instead, the meeting turned out to be intended to lobby against the Magnitsky Act. Now, starting top left, Rob Goldstone, British publicist. Goldstone arranged the meeting between Natalya and Donald Trump Jr. at Trump Tower. He is the publicist for Emin Agalarov, who is a Russian pop star and businessman. Agalarov is the son of Aras Agalarov. He helped arrange the meeting between Donald Trump Jr. and Natalya Natalya, right? Lawyer for Provision Holdings. Veselnitskaya attended the June 2016 meeting at Trump Tower with Rinat Akhmetshin, bottom right down here, to argue against the Magnitsky Act. She hired Fusion GPS in 2013 through law firm Baker Hostetler. Presented Prevision. Prevision? Yeah. Aras Agalarov, Russian oligarch. Agalarov is the father of Emin Agalarov, guy down here on the bottom left. He previously worked with Donald Trump to bring the Miss Universe pageant to Russia. Rinat Akhmetshin. Akhmetshin. Russian-born lobbyist, alleged facilitator of the 2016 Trump Tower meeting with Natalya Veselnitskaya. I'm getting actually good at that. Akhmetshin is married to Lyudmila Vereshchagani. Vereshchagani? Yeah. A Ukrainian national with ties to Ukraine intelligence who has been living in the United States since 2008. Both Akhmetshin and Vereshchagina knew and communicated with Glenn Simpson, Mary Jacoby, and Alexandra Chalupa. I love that name. Irakli Ike Kavaladze, business associate of Aras Agalarov. Us up there to the right? He attended the June 2016 Trump Tower meeting. Then we got Donald Trump Jr., eldest son of President Donald Trump. Going into the June 2016 meeting at Trump Tower, Trump Jr. expected to receive political opposition, research on the Clinton campaign as promised by publicist Rob Goldstone, up here to the left, who had set up the meeting. Instead, to Trump Jr.'s surprise, the discussion focused on lobbying against the Magnitsky Act. Down here at the bottom right, we have Anatoly Semachornov. He was a translator, and he was there at the meeting. Now, we can argue all day whether you can or can't get information like that. The point is, this information was never given. It ended up being just something completely different, right? They wanted to talk about something else other than that. There was no information that was ever given. And I believe this is the last. I'm looking at the board right now. I think we still have we got two more sections after this, and then we're done. Spy traps. Members of the Trump campaign were approached by individuals with close ties to U.S. and UK intelligence services. Right? Here are the guys that we've been talking about this whole time. Stefan Halper. He is the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Military Affairs. He's an advisor to Hackluit. Right? Hold on. Let's say, let me pop in. And last time I checked, there weren't many comments, so I'm going to get back to this. Patrick says, you rock. I appreciate that. Michael says, you should do a live stream with your son more often. Makes the stream more enjoyable, in my opinion, watching young people voice their opinions. I agree. We're working on that. I'm going to do some more family type stuff. Patrick Vieira says, while we're on the subject, do you have anything to say about private military companies, contractors? I do. There's a lot that we don't understand. There's a lot that needs to be looked into with this stuff. We have people who are dying for this country. This says here, average military soldier pay is $25,000. Private contractors are $150,000 average. Let's our private military contractors other than mercenaries, right? I mean, I don't want to sugarcoat it. That's pretty much what it is. They fight for money. Bill Casey says hello from Ireland. Hi, Bill. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Michael says, I hear the private contractors Merryweather have just bought a site off the coast of Los Santos. That's pretty disturbing. Patrick says Illuminati. There's so much. There's so many connections. It really is disturbing. But back to private military companies and contractors. We are spending a ridiculous amount of money in this country on private military companies and military contractors. I support our military 100%. I do not support pouring money into the pockets of military contractors at all. So yeah, that's where I stand for that with that. So Stefan Halper here, he was closely associated with MI6 chief Sir Richard Dearlove. He's got close connections to Hackloyd through Jonathan Clark, with whom he co-authored 2 books. Halper is the FBI source identified by the House Intelligence Committee who contacted Carter Page and George Papadopoulos. A graduate assistant of Halper's invited Page to a July 11-12, 2016 Cambridge symposium where Halper and Page met. Halper would stay in touch with Page over the next 14 months. Halper's contact with Page ended as the final FISA warrant on Page expired. Halper met with Papadopoulos on September 13, 2016, and a senior Trump campaign official on September 11, 2016. In early November 2016, Halper said he believed that electing Hillary Clinton would be best for U.S.-UK relations. So obviously Clinton to win, right? UK Foreign Office. On September 2nd, 2016, George Papadopoulos accepted a meeting with Stefan Halper, who appears to have approached Papadopoulos unbidden. Papadopoulos, who had no prior contact, met with him in London on September 13, 2016. An unexpected meeting with the UK Foreign and Commonwealth Office immediately followed. Now this guy right here, Joseph Mifsud, if you guys know anything about SpyGate and the dirty dossier and all that stuff, there is so much about this guy that we need to know. Oh, hold on. We have a this person says cut congressional pay and give it to the military. Cancel the country club membership in Congress. I agree. Make Congress live under the same laws they make us live under. I wholeheartedly agree. I am not running for Congress to get rich. I am not running to become part of the little club. I am running because we need more regular people in Congress to make the decisions that need to be made for us, the people, not for their little country club, but for us. The only way to fix the system is from within. Joseph Mifsud, he is a professor at the London Academy of Diplomacy. They put Misfud instead of Mifsud. A London-based Maltese professor introduced Trump volunteer campaign advisor George Papadopoulos to the Russian ambassador in London, as well as a woman he described as the niece of Russian President Vladimir Putin. He also told Papadopoulos that the Kremlin had dirt on Hillary Clinton. Mifsud and Papadopoulos both worked at the London Center of International Law Practice, LCILP, in early 2016. Mifsud reportedly joined LCILP in the fall of 2015, while Papadopoulos reportedly joined in February 2016. Mifsud has ties to Western intelligence and has been pictured with Claire Smith and Boris Johnson. Central says we need competency to be restored, not self-willed people. I agree. We have far too many people who only care about their own interests. They only care about getting rich off of the system or using it to profit. It is so crazy. It really is. So here we have this State Department. The State Department spread the Steele dossier to the FBI and helped promote the collusion narrative, in part through leaks to the media. John Kerry was the Secretary of State. He received a copy of the Steele dossier from Victoria Nuland. Victoria Nuland, Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasian Affairs. Nuland gave the green light for FBI agent Michael Gaeta's meeting with Christopher Steele in July 2016. She received a copy of Steele's dossier in July 2016. She may have seen the dossier before FBI leadership. She provided the dossier to the FBI and John Kerry. Nuland had known Steele since 2014 through Jonathan Weiner, right next to her, right? Jonathan Weiner. Jonathan Weiner was the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for International Law Enforcement. He's a former Special Envoy for Libya, right? Weiner and Steele have been friends since 2009. Weiner met with Steele in September 2016 in Washington to discuss the information contained in the dossier. Weiner provided a summary of the dossier for Victoria Nuland. Weiner, in turn, provided Steele with a copy of the second dossier containing uncorroborated information given to him by Sidney Blumenthal. Steele then went on to pass the information to the FBI. Elizabeth Dibble, charge d'affaires and former deputy chief of mission at the U.S. Embassy in London. Dibble received information on George Papadopoulos from Alexander Downer. Evelyn Farkas. Farkas is the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia, Ukraine, and Eurasia. Farkas detailed in a March 2017 interview on MSNBC's Morning Joe show how the Obama administration gathered and disseminated intelligence on the Trump team. Farkas is now a non-resident senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. The State Department spread the Steele dossier to the FBI, and they helped promote it through leaks to the media, through Congress. Certain members of Congress helped facilitate the spread of the Steele dossier and selectively leaked information to the media. Check the comments real quick. Yeah, John McCain, he's coming up. Absolutely. Here's the thing. Voters are entitled. Voters are entitled to vote for who they believe is best for them, right? I just wish more people would do that. I wish more people would vote for what they truly believe is best for them rather than a party, right? And it really, but to be fair anymore, if you vote Democrat, unfortunately, you're voting for more of the same, especially in Northwest Indiana. The left has been in charge for a very, very long time, and we're not going to see any changes until we start mixing things up. Good old John McCain, Senator No Name, Republican Senator for Arizona. Of course, we now know McCain's not here anymore. McCain, copy of the Steele dossier through his associate, David Kramer. McCain admitted in a January 11, 2017 statement that he had passed the dossier on to James Comey. Dianne Feinstein, oof, ranking member of Senate Judiciary Committee, Democratic senator for California. Feinstein licked the transcript of the testimony Glenn Simpson gave to the Senate Judiciary Committee. She received a briefing from John Brennan in September 2016. Feinstein's senior intelligence staffer, Daniel Jones, left in 2016 to form Penn Quarter Group, which later hired Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele following the election. Let's not forget that Dianne Feinstein had a spy for 20 years on her payroll, a Chinese spy for 20 years. Harry Reid, Senate Minority Leader, Democratic Senator for Nevada. Reid, after being briefed by John Brennan, sent 2 letters to James Comey urging him to take action. Reid's office posted the letters publicly on his website, resulting in widespread media attention and the promotion of the Russia collusion narrative. Shifty Adam Schiff, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, Democratic congressman for California. Anybody starting to notice an interesting theme here? Just wondering. I mean, California, Nevada, Arizona, Southwest and West. Interesting. Also, all Democrats. How odd. Let's be honest. McCain is not a Republican. Adam Schiff. He heavily promoted the Russia collusion narrative. He has been accused of leaking to the media. Schiff wrote the House Minority Memo in response to the House memo on FISA abuses authored by House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, which I'm going to cover that in just a second. I got a couple of interesting updates on this. James Wolf, Director of Security for the Senate Intelligence Committee. Wolf was the Director of Security for the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, SSCI, from May 1987 to December 2017. He was responsible for all classified information provided to the SSCI. Wolf was accused by the FBI of engaging in ongoing, unauthorized contact with at least 4 reporters. He was sentenced to 2 months in prison for lying to the Bureau. Let's remember here, he actually was sentenced to prison for lying to the FBI. So anyone claiming that nothing is happening, I know, trust me, I know it's frustrating. We want some stuff to happen here. I want to show you this. This is actually, this was 2 days ago. Here's what's behind the Senate House disputes on Russian meddling in 2016 election. This is the one that's 2 days ago. I misspoke earlier when I said the other one was 2 days ago. This is the one that's 2 days ago. While the nation is focused on the coronavirus pandemic, the Senate Intelligence Committee issued a bipartisan report Tuesday that challenges House conclusions about former CIA Director John Brennan cooking intelligence for political purposes. At issue is a controversial January 2017 intelligence community assessment that concluded that Russia had meddled in the 2016 presidential election to help Donald Trump win. That assessment supported the basic premise of the widely discredited Steele dossier that, according to recently declassified FBI documents, contained Russian disinformation. Did you guys see that? It recently came out that this actually had Russian disinformation in it. In March 2018, the House Intelligence Committee issued a report saying the intelligence community assessment had been politicized to hurt Trump. I am a former CIA analyst and House Intelligence Committee staff member who expressed such views in Fox News op-eds in January and May 2017. The report released Tuesday was the second Senate Intelligence Committee report contradicting the findings of House and other intelligence experts. The first Senate report was issued in July 2018. Now, I'm going to give this to you. Boom. There's the link for the article I'm reading right now. Here's the thing, right? The political establishment and anti-Trump journalists gloated about the new Senate Intelligence Committee report as bolstering their biases. NBC reporter Ken Delanian breathlessly tweeted that, it, quote, confirmed the accuracy of the 2017 U.S. intelligence assessment on Russian election interference, undercutting far-right conspiracy theories. According to the latest Senate Intelligence Committee report, proper procedures were dutifully followed in drafting the intelligence community assessment. The committee did not discover any significant analytic tradecraft issues in the preparation or final presentation of the ICA, the Intelligence Committee report says, adding that the ICA reflects proper analytic tradecraft despite being tasked and completed within a compressed time frame. However, the House Intelligence Committee came to a different conclusion in its March 2018 report, finding that the intelligence community assessment's judgments on why Russian President Vladimir Putin meddled in the 2016 U.S. presidential election did not employ proper analytic tradecraft. So, who is right? Accusing the intelligence community of improper analytic tradecraft in analyzing Russia's strategic intentions is an extremely grave and congressional oversight committee to make. In my opinion, there is no question the House Intelligence Committee is right for the reasons in its 2018 report and other subsequent findings. The House Committee found the intelligence community assessment violated protocols for drafting such assessments. This major finding shows why America needs strong legislative oversight over the intelligence services. I could not agree more. We need oversight over our intelligence agencies because they're the ones that are actually doing stuff. They're the ones that are, at least in the past, have run this country. And we need our Congress. We need our president. We need the Supreme Court back in charge, not these runaway agencies. Continuing on, for example, although the protocols require intelligence community assessments to be, quote, community products and vetted with all intelligence agencies and analysts with equities in a given subject, only 3 intelligence agencies were asked to draft this assessment. The CIA, National Security Agency, and FBI. Think on that for just CIA, NSA, and FBI. With the 14 other intelligence agencies left out, the 3 participating agencies included only 24 hand-picked analysts. Other intelligence agencies working on this issue, such as the Defense Intelligence Agency and the Department of Homeland Security, were excluded. In addition, House Intelligence Committee staff revealed the actual drafting of the intelligence community assessment was done by 3 close associates of former CIA Director Brennan, who has proven to be the most politicized intelligence chief in American history. I agree wholeheartedly with that. This guy I've never seen an intelligence chief as overtly political as Brennan. He's also slime. But contrary to common practice for controversial intelligence community assessments, Brennan's team allowed no dissenting views or even an annex with reviews by outside experts. These were extraordinary violations of rules to ensure that analysis is accurate and trusted. The Senate committee reports ignored these foundational violations. The Senate Intelligence Committee report falsely claims that all analytical lines are supported with all source intelligence, and that analysts who wrote the intelligence community assessment consistently said that they, quote, were under no politically motivated pressure to reach specific conclusions. House Intelligence Committee staff members found the opposite. They told me there was conflicting intelligence evidence on Russian motivations for the 2016 election. More gravely, they said the CIA Director Brennan suppressed facts or analysis that showed why it was not in Russia's interest to support Trump and why Putin stood to benefit from Hillary Clinton's election. They also told me that Brennan suppressed that intelligence over the objections of CIA analysts. It goes on and on and on, but I recommend you read it when you get a chance. It is worth noting that this person actually, knows what he's talking about. So let's see here. The other thing is that is very new. George Papadopoulos, remember the guy that we talked about? Collusion denials to SpyGate FBI informant Stefan Halper, not relayed to FISA court. They didn't put it in there. They never told the court that, hey, this guy denies it. Papadopoulos says this transcript is one of the most disturbing that has been publicly declassified thus far. It confirms that the UK government was in on the spying operation against me in London with Stefan Halper. For it to be declassified, clear the UK and other allies will be exposed. Horowitz concluded that the FBI omitted Papadopoulos' recorded statements to Halper in September 2016, denying that anyone associated with the Trump campaign was collaborating with Russia or with outside groups like we. It is all right there. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, this is another good point. I'm glad you brought that up. If you question the Intelligence Committee, you are unpatriotic. Yeah, here's the thing. I think that we as a people, it is our job. It is our duty, government. It is our duty to demand that our government become more transparent. We need to tell these people, you are not kings. You are not dictators. You answer to us. So I think it's good to question, but there's a difference between questioning what's going on and showing blatant disrespect for a president, because that's the excuse that they use when you're like, wow, you really hate Donald Trump. Oh, it's our job to question the president. It is our job, not just the president, but Congress as well. Congress, the Supreme Court, we want to see what's going on. Paul says that takes people who care about the Constitution, so change can be made. I agree. Central says, what a breach of the trust we the people put in the CIA and SA and FBI. Abominable. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The term seventh floor is the term for the dirt. Yep. Like Lois Lerner. Absolutely. We have so much going on here. There's so much information here. It really can't be covered all at once, but I gave you the link for this one. Again, I recommend that you check it out. If you just go the Federalist here, did SpyGate source Stefan Halper work for the Hillary Clinton campaign? Again, this is from March 13th. I'll give you the link. Check it out. There is so much to learn about this. So much. To kind of wrap it up and to give you, let's see here. Check this out. This is from True Seeker at Call Out for Truth. He says, Dan Bongino on the Steele, Fusion GPS, and Obama Spygate cabal covering their tracks. Check this out. Steele mysteriously wipes clean his emails on January 5th of 2017. Daily Caller reports. Steele said he had no records related to the creation of his dossier memos, including Report 112 from the dossier, which dealt with the Alpha Bank owners. You have no record of anything, have you? Tomlinson asked. I haven't got any records relating to the creation of 112, said Steele. Or indeed any of the other memoranda? No, they were wiped in early January 2017. Steele said that a Hushmail account he used in late December 2016 was, quote, wiped clean. He also said that communications with Fusion GPS on his company's computer network were scrubbed on January 5th, 2017. BuzzFeed News published Steele's dossier 5 days later. 5 days later. I feel like Chucky with my head going around. Yeah, there is so much to it. And I know it's hard to wrap your head around everything. I know that it's a lot. It is a lot. But I think the best takeaway here is there is so much evidence that this was an attempted coup of a sitting president, an attempted coup of a sitting president. This is the best I could get this graphic. Unfortunately, if anybody can get a better image, but this is what I wanted to show you to wrap it up. The media's incestuous relationships with the Obama administration. We've got start with the top right up here. We've got NBC News, right? Contributor Robert Gibbs, former White House press secretary Jay Carney, married to Claire Shipman, who's a correspondent with ABC News. I wish you could see the mouse so you could see kind of where I'm going. But MSNBC up here on the right, senior political analyst David Axelrod, former senior advisor to the president, right? It's all here. It's all here. All the different organizations and the people in media, all the connections, kind of tie them together, right? It's all right here. Susan Rice, married to Ian Cameron, former executive producer of This Week at ABC News. The Obama administration, Dr. Elizabeth Sherwood Randall, advisor to the president. Her brother, Ben Sherwood, right? CNN. He's the president of ABC, News. CNN vice president, deputy bureau chief in Washington, Virginia Mosley, married to Tom Nides. Who is Tom Nides? Former deputy secretary of state under Hillary Clinton. They're all in bed together. All of them. All of them. It is sickening to me. Absolutely disgusting. And we are being lied to still. You know what? I want to touch on something really quick. So I was watching the briefing. I try to watch every single one, the whole thing. Sometimes I miss the very beginnings of them, or got to stop early if they run way late. But I was watching the briefing yesterday when the president, right? When President Trump said, hey, we know that UV light kills this virus. And they put the thing up on the screen that showed, right, how long it lives under various environments. And I listened to him. He was asking a doctor, this works, right? And they answered yes. And he was talking about, we're also looking at something where you can, inject it like this, disinfectant. And they said yes. The media went nuts. You guys have heard it, how all the things talking about how Trump's telling people to Lysol and all that stuff. It is beyond ridiculous how they take things and just run with it and absolutely distort the things that he actually says. It drives me nuts. Again, I've watched almost every single press briefing. Let's see. Yeah, Central says this was a long drawn forethought plan to deprive the will of the people by Obama and his goons. I absolutely agree. We see more and more and more as time goes on. We have more and more people that are seeing the blatant bias of our media. They are seeing just the ridiculousness. Even the people who are not necessarily huge, Trump lovers, are seeing what's going on. They're starting to wake up. And that's good. I'm glad that they are. If you go to Google here and you click in SpyGate, right, you can run down. But here is the images. This is what I recommend, right? Because you have resignations and demotions, which is another huge thing that that's not getting exposure, right? Look at all these people An overview of key personnel at the FBI and DOJ who either resigned, were fired, or were demoted since President Trump took office, right? James Comey, fired. McCabe, fired. Forced to resign from his active position and was fired. Baker, boom, 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 boom. Here is the link for this. The same thing with the graphic that I have. Well, this is the link for the graphic on the screen here, the resignations and demotions. And for those of you who, all of you listening right now do, but the ones that are going to watch this later, if you don't know of the hundreds and hundreds of CEOs that have resigned since Trump took office, it really is amazing. It really is just absolutely incredible. There are more. Look at this. See, we've got the Clinton Foundation pay to play. Here. Oh, I'll give you the copy for that, but there's just so much. There's so much information for those who actually want to know. There really is. And it really is that more people don't want to learn what's really happening here. But okay, here, this is the, well, that's part of it. Here's the whole thing. I was trying to get you the full one of the one that I have, so you could download if you want a high quality copy of it. Let me see if I can get to this one here. Okay, yeah, I think this one should work. Stop trying to send me stuff. This one might work. I'm going to give you the link. I can't verify whether or not it'll work, but if you like the wall thing that I have, that might be able to go with it, but I haven't read that one. I was just looking for, because if you click on it, then you can zoom in. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what I should have used. That's even better resolution than mine. Look at that. You can download it and zoom around on it. And look at that. That's the FBI, DOJ. Got all of this. Make sure I got everything. Yeah, there's the Trump Tower meeting here. All right, very good. Very good. Yeah, there's the link for that. I recommend if you like this big graphic, there it is. Yeah, so Central says, why isn't the Clinton Foundation audited and investigated? Deep state operatives? Absolutely. Absolutely. We know that they're, have you seen what happened, Haiti? I mean, with these people and what they did, if you have not seen the Out of Shadows documentary, I absolutely recommend it. Go. Yeah, this one appears to be a very high quality image. They must have used a much better camera than I did to take a picture of it or whatever, because even using my camera, I couldn't get it this good. So that's awesome. So there you go. Here's everything you ever wanted to know, really, about the SpyGate scandal, who was involved, how they connect. You can also, the nice part is with this one, you can actually see all the independent connections, where the red lines go, who they connect to. So good deal. So I appreciate everybody coming out, joining me for this. You can download the things and read the articles and deep dive into it as much as you want. Remember, tomorrow I have a special guest. I have one of the Republican candidates for District 1, one of my opponents, joining me on the show. We're going to just have a chat, talk. It's not a debate, it's not a gotcha or anything like that. We're going to see. I wonder if I have. I was looking to see if I had my thing in here so I could, because my camera, unfortunately, we'll just do this. He's going to be here tomorrow, 7 p.m. So show up for that if you want. Should be a great time. I'm going to get that ready as soon as I end. God bless you, and God bless the USA. Appreciate everybody coming out.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.